Today's topic is first chapter for class 12, that is electric charges and fields. In this chapter, today I am going to explain these topics. See, introduction to this chapter, then electric charge, point charge, electrification, modern theory of electrification, methods of electrification, gold leaf electroscope. In the introduction, let us know about the electrostatics. What is meant by electrostatics? Electricity, the word electricity came from a Greek word electron. So electron means amber. Amber is the meaning of electron. When amber is rubbed with wool, rubbed with silk, or rubbed with cat fur, it gains some charge and it attracts the small pieces of paper or bits of paper. And here electrostatics. Electrostatics is nothing but it is a study of static charges or the study of the fields or the forces or potentials arises due to the charges at rest. Electrostatics explains the everything about the static charges. And next, electric charge. Electric charge. So this electric charge is an intrinsic property. Intrinsic property of a constituent particles of matter. And this charge produces electric fields as well as magnetic fields due to the charge. So when charge is at rest or when charge is in motion, so electric field only when charge is at rest, it produces only electric field. When charge is in motion, along with electric field, it produces magnetic fields also. That we will discuss one by one in this video. Electric charge, and then it is a fundamental property or an intrinsic property of the constituent particles of matter. Here, point charge. When the linear size of the charged particle or charged body is not comparable or negligible when compared with the distance consideration, distance under consideration. That is, linear size of a charged body is negligible when compared with the distance. Linear size is negligible when compared with the distance under consideration. Then that linear sized charged body is considered as a point charge. And next, electrification. So electrification is nothing but usually according to modern theory of electrification, every substance in our surroundings are atoms. Substances are made up of atoms. Atoms are further made up of positive ions, that is protons and electrons, and neutral particles also. That neutral particles, the particles which do not possess any charge are called neutrons. So here every atom contains a positively charged nucleus at its center, and electrons revolve around the nucleus in a particular orbits. And each and every atom contains equal number of positive charges and negative charges, so that total net charge on the atom 0. Net charge is equal to 0. Net charge on the atom is 0, so that we can say that matter is electrically neutral. Matter is electrically neutral. So the meaning of this is every substance has the atoms. Each and every atom contains same number of positive charges and negative charges, so that equal number of negative and positive charges so cancel to each other. Total charge, net charge on atom is 0, so that matter is electrically neutral. And now can come back to the electrification. Electrification is nothing but the process of giving a charge to the electrically neutral bodies is called electrification. That is the process of obtaining charged bodies from electrically neutral body, electrically neutral matter, or the process of giving a charge to the matter is called electrification. We have some methods here, that is methods of electrification. Say here we have 3 methods of electrification, that is to get the charged bodies. Usually in our surroundings, every material, every substance is a neutral body, because every substance or every atom contains equal number of protons and electrons, positive charges and negative charges. So from the neutral matter to get the charged bodies, we have 3 methods. Their first one is friction. Second one is conduction, and third one is induction. See, friction. By friction, let us suppose that when a glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, see here, this is a silk cloth and glass rod. When glass rod is rubbed with the silk cloth, glass rod loses electrons to the silk cloth. So it means usually either glass rod or silk cloth contains same number of positive charges and negative charges, that is same number of protons and electrons. When glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, glass rod loses electrons. Loses electrons means due to the deficiency of electrons, glass rod gains positive charge. So glass rod becomes positively charged, and automatically whatever the number of electrons lost by a glass rod, that same number of electrons gains by the silk cloth, so that silk cloth will get negative charge. Two glass rods rubbed one over the another. they also exchange the electrons from one glass rod to another glass rod. They repel to each other. Or two glass rods separately rub with the silk cloth both. When these two are brought in contact, are brought nearer, so they repel to each other because they will get the same kind of charge. So not only this, so you observe here some list. The upper materials which gains positive charge and the bottom one will becomes a negatively charged. So when one body or one material from upper list is rubbed with any one material with the lower one, this list. So upper materials will get positive charge and lower materials will get negative charge. Usually in your chemistry, you may studied electron affinity of the substances of the materials. Electron affinity. The materials which have higher electron affinity will gain the electrons. So gain the electrons means becomes negatively charged. And the materials which have lower electron affinity loses the electrons. It means the materials which have lower electron affinity becomes positively charged usually. So observe the list once again here. So these materials will becomes positively charged and these materials will become negatively charged. Next one is gold leaf electroscope. So this gold leaf electroscope is used to detect the charge. When one body is rubbed over the another body, both will get the charges. Once the body gets charged, whether the body becomes a charged body or not. So to detect the charge on this body, so this gold leaf electroscope is useful to detect the charge. See, observe the diagram here. So in this diagram, here this gold leaf electroscope has a rectangular box, a rectangular transparent glass box, and at the through this open of the upper end, so a metal rod is inserted, and here a cork, say rubber cork is also fitted in the diagram. Observe the diagram, and at the top end, upper end of the rod, a metal knob is fitted, and at the lower end, observe the diagram. So in the lower end, gold leaves, very thin gold leaves are attached at the lower end of the rod. Now, the charged body, either it may be a positively charged or negatively charged. So, charged body, when kept in contact to the knob in the diagram, the upper end of the vertical rod. So, when the charged body is going to touch with the knob, this charge is transferred to the vertical rod, through the vertical rod to gold leaves. Until when there is no charge, gold leaves are like this, very close. Once the charged body is made to touch with a metal knob, charge is transferred to the vertical rod, transferred through the vertical rod to the gold leaves, so that the gold leaves repel. Like this, gold leaves repel, they move away from each other. So this degree of divergence of the gold leaves is the direct measure of the quantity of charge on that particular body which is going to touch with the knob of the vertical rod in the diagram. So like this, and even this gold leaf electroscope can also be used to measure the potential, electric potential, to detect the charge on the body as well as to measure the electrical potential. That is the advantage of this gold leaf electroscope. Second method is conduction. So in this method of obtaining the charged bodies, let us take a charged body. Say A is a charged body. Let us assume that A is a positively charged body. Let us assume that A is a positively charged body, and another body B is placed in contact. So B is placed in contact with A. Let us imagine that B is uncharged body. So this is uncharged. Uncharged is nothing but B has equal number of negative charges and positive charges are equal number of electrons and protons. That is the meaning of uncharged. A is positively charged. Positively charged means it has a deficiency of electrons. So it need some extra electrons, so that when one charged body A, one uncharged body B are kept in contact, A takes certain electrons from B, certain number of electrons transferred from B to A, so that A here A, suppose if whatever the number of electrons required for A, if that number of electrons gains from B, it may, that is A may become neutral body, may or may not become neutral body, but at least if the B loses one electron to A, B becomes positively charged body, because initially B has equal number of electrons and protons, equal number of protons and electrons. If B loses at least one electron, B becomes positively charged. See, observe here, A is a positively charged body and B is uncharged body. When these two are kept in contact, A absorbs some electrons from B, so that B becomes a positively charged body, and A may or may not become a neutral body, so that A is already a positively charged body and B now becomes a positively charged body. So in the process of conduction, both bodies will get same kind of charge, so that they repel to each other. So that we can write here one quotation: conduction always precedes repulsion. Conduction always precedes repulsion. And next, third method is induction. Induction. In this, this is the last one and third method to obtain the charged bodies. So in the first process, that is by friction. Friction is nothing but, so when two bodies rubbed one over the another. When two bodies rubbed one over the another, there may be a chance of exchange of electrons from one body to another body. Due to the exchange, outermost orbital electrons called valence electrons, or they are loosely bounded with the nucleus. So that when rubbed one over the another two bodies, there may be a chance of exchange of electrons. Exchange of electrons takes place between the two particles. As a result of exchange of electrons from one body to another body, both the bodies will get charged bodies. And second method, conduction. One charged body, one uncharged body when kept in contact. So electrons transfer takes place from one body to another body. So in the first method, due to the exchange of electrons between the bodies, both will get charges, or both bodies becomes charged bodies. And in the process of conduction also, both bodies will get same kind of charge. In the friction method, opposite two bodies acquires opposite charges, and in the process of conduction, both will get same kind of charge. But in the third method, that is induction, no need to rub one over the another and no need to kept in contact. Just see, a charged body, one charged body, let us assume that A is a charged body. Let us imagine that it is a positively charged body. A is a positively charged body. The meaning of positively charged body is it has a deficiency of electrons. A has deficiency of electrons. That is the meaning of positively charged body. Now, an uncharged body. When B is a neutral body, or B is an uncharged body. When a charged body and one uncharged body are brought nearer, no need to place them in contact, no need to rub one over the another. Here in this method, just one uncharged body and one charged body are kept closer to the body. See here, initially this B is uncharged body. Uncharged means it has equal number of protons and electrons, equal number of positive charges and negative charges. So slowly, because A is a positively charged body, so that here the negative charges in B are slowly moved towards A. That is, all the negative charges are rearranged on the inner surface of B, which is closer to A. And negative, all positive charges in B are slowly rearranged on the inner side of B, which is far away from A. On nearer side of A, negative charges, farther side of A, positive charges are rearranged. But in this phenomena, in this process induction, there is no exchange of electrons takes place between the A and B, between the two bodies. Only here in the neutral, but still now B is an uncharged body or neutral body. And now after this, suppose if the B is connected to earthing, if B is connected to ground, so the second end, this outer end, inner side of B, this far away from A, has deficiency of electrons. So when earthing is or grounding, when B is connected to earth supplies the required number of electrons to B, that is this surface, electrons, and current is flowing to the ground. Ground supplies n number of charges, because potential, that's why we consider potential of the earth is always 0, or earth is considered as a huge reservoir of charges. And when the electrons comes from the earth to B, this second side of B becomes neutral. See here, when draw this B becomes So this B, this side negative charges as usual, and second side due to the earthing, this all positive charges becomes neutral. Due to the earthing, all positive charges becomes neutral. See here, electrons reached from Earth to B, so that these positive charges becomes neutral. Only negative charges is remaining. Only negative charges remaining means positive charges are also present in B, but due to the addition of electrons from Earth, B becomes negatively charged body. B becomes a negatively charged body. Negatively charged. So B becomes a negatively charged. See here, in case of conduction, we wrote one quotation here: conduction always precedes repulsion. Because in the process of conduction, both bodies will get same charge, same kind of charge. But in the process of induction, without changing, without losing any charge, A is a positively charged body. Initially, B is a neutral body, and now B becomes a negatively charged body. So that without altering the charge of A, we can get the charged bodies. So with one charged body, we can get any number of n number of charged bodies without altering the charge on the first body, on A. Suppose if A is a negatively charged body, A is a negatively charged body, then B becomes positively charged. So this is the process of induction. But here in case of induction also, we can say one quotation here. See, if A is positively charged body, all negative charges appear like this inside B, so that attraction takes place. Or here also. So that is, here we can write one quotation, that is, induction always precedes attraction. Induction always precedes attraction. So conduction always precedes repulsion, and induction always precedes attraction.